Hello, my name is Steve Clark and I am the Business Development Lead at QGate Software. Here at QGate, we specialize in the development of Dynamics 365 CRM, and we are a long-standing partner of Dynamics Consultants. So thank you very much to DC for inviting me to today give you a bit of a walk around Dynamics CRM. Now, I've got a period of time, about 10-15 minutes to show you this. In reality, I do and often spend much longer talking about Dynamics and giving demonstrations around particular features and functions. So if there's anything that I touch upon in this session that you'd like elaborating on, then by all means, please do get in touch and I'll be happy to set up a one-on-one. So before you can see a Dynamics dashboard. This is by default what I've set Dynamics to present when I log in the morning. In reality, you can set it to show you anything when you log on. If you wanted a list of activities, accounts, contacts, opportunities, absolutely. But by default, I've set it as a dashboard. Just briefly, by way of what you can see in front of you, on the left-hand side, you have a list of quick menu items, predominantly entities such as inquiries, opportunities, quotes, so on and so forth, which I'll go into shortly. Across the top, you can see a ribbon of menu items. These relate directly to the window of information that you can see in front of you. Some settings icons up here, and then finally a search bar. So it's my intention to show you a little bit around Dynamics, and what I'll do is demonstrate a very simple sales process, staged sales process. So from initial inquiry, how you progress that to opportunity, how you manage that, and then convert that into a customer, which will then provide you with a contact and an account within Dynamics as well. So to talk about the dashboard that you can see in front of you, this is an example Business Development Manager one. It has things like pipeline funnels, so opportunity by stage. You can see if you hover over, it'll show you the opportunity that I as a BDM have at qualify stage. The constant across all of these is that if you click into it, you can then drill down into the information that you are presented with. So this is a pipeline of opportunity. If I click that on a bar chart, then it will show me the individual opportunities by amount as well. Other useful information you can see, inquiry sources. So from a marketing perspective, very useful to understand where your inquiries are coming from. So some examples, partners, referrals, advertisements, word of mouth. Over here, I have some one opportunities information. So again, a list of companies over a period of time that I've stipulated. Some more information here, open opportunities. Interesting to me that I know that ABC Services here has £50 million worth of projected revenue. So of course, I want to manage that a little bit more closely. From a productivity perspective, you can see here activities, just really to see the kind of output that I'm conducting on a monthly basis. And then finally, as an example on this dashboard, is a list of activities. Now, personally being in sales, the activities feature within Dynamics, or the activities within Dynamics, is probably the most powerful. Very useful twofold, really. Firstly, for logging all of the interaction between an organization, so me and then a prospect or an account. So anything from phone calls, appointments. There's an Outlook integration that pulls in emails that you have between any particular contact that is then held against the CRM record. And then the other incredibly useful element is creating a workflow. So if I have opportunities that are outstanding, I can set activities that will remind me to call that particular prospect in a week or 2 weeks or however long. Account management, I can set recurring monthly contacts or touch points with the accounts on here. And that's presented here at dashboard. Another example, if I can just go down to a sales management dashboard here, this will give me information of my team. So CRM user 1 and QGate support, imagine that's Mike and John. It shows me their inquiries over the last 30 days. Beyond inquiries, we have opportunities here as well. So open opportunities. I can see that Mike, Dave, Jane, and Jenny. Jane here is sitting on £50 million worth of proposed business, whereas Mike up here hasn't got any. So I might want to spend a bit more time with Mike in developing his pipeline. So that's an example of some of the dashboards that you can see. Going back to a typical sales process, so from initial inquiry through to close, first point of call or port of call on Dynamics is an inquiry. also known as a lead. We've just termed it as an inquiry for this example. Now, an inquiry, as we see it, is an initial indication of interest. So it's a possible opportunity. So the scourge of any CRM, and you'll find this worldwide, any CRM scourge is duplicate data, fake information. So before Dynamics will create anything in by way of account or contact within the CRM, it presents you with an inquiry. So this might have come from, as an example, a contact form on the website, some gated information. Maybe if you have a white paper or a download, someone might have put in a fake email address or even a fake name. So before it does start creating a contact or an account or an opportunity, it will give you this one entity, one piece of information to deal with and validate. So you can then assess whether this is a legitimate inquiry. Go onto LinkedIn, see if actually Jimmy Jacobs is a real person that works at Jimmy Sinks. If he does, great. What we're looking to do is validate that, and at that point, we can then convert this into an inquiry and then a contact and an account being the company name. So just to talk about what you can see in front of you by way of a screen, the constant throughout Dynamics is a summary tab. It shows you highline information. At this stage, at inquiry stage, you won't get too much further information, but you can also see a timeline. Now, this will become more apparent as I go further on in the demonstration, but this is the snapshot of all the activities that I mentioned: phone calls, emails, appointments. It will give that audit trail of all those interactions. Now, across the top here is a kind of standard workflow. So you'll recall on the dashboard that I demonstrated, there was a pipeline at qualify, develop, propose, and close stage. These workflows can be absolutely customized and amended to suit your customers' workflows and processes. Here, instead of qualify, you might have discovery, you might have demonstration, you might have proof of concept, then proposal, then quote, then close. And you'll note that these are locked. So you can't progress this opportunity until you've fulfilled a set of criteria, understanding who the contact is, the purchase time frame, budget, decision makers, so on and so forth. Now, at inquiry stage, you don't want anything really beyond the core information. You've got perhaps an inquiry source up here. In the top right, a warm rating because it looks like a good lead, the status, also the owner as well. You might have a sales manager that receives inbound inquiries that then associate them to a particular salesperson. Say if it's geographic, then if something comes in for the north, they have a northern salesperson. The sales manager can very easily drop down and change that to that owner, or conversely, if someone is a product specialist internally in that the inquiry pertains to that, then of course they can do the same. So I've got this inquiry. I called up Jimmy. I have a bit of a chat, and we start fleshing out a bit more information about the requirement at hand. Now I will go then across because I've had this chat with Jimmy, and I'm going to switch to another company in true Blue Peter fashion because never demo live. We go to opportunities, and I've qualified it. So at the inquiry stage, I've had the conversation, I've hit go, and I know it is a legitimate opportunity. So for the instance of this, we've gone from Jimmy Sinks across to Peckham Limited, but the example remains the same. So you can see here I've qualified it at that stage. So I've identified the contact, purchase time frame, decision maker. If it's an individual or a committee, for example, to approve this particular project quote. Again, the constant is you can see a summary here, interesting information about the opportunity, budget amounts, so on and so forth. Again, this timeline, you can start to see, because I've had that phone call, I can confirm the notes that I had with, or the notes from the call that I had with Sam, just gives a brief snapshot of that interaction. Tasks, so I spoke earlier on about setting yourself a workflow. I've got a task set for next week that if I haven't heard from Sam, to get back in touch. Because I have had that conversation and I know that they've got an estimated close date of the 20th of April, estimated revenue, it's the really interesting information that allows me to build up that forecast that I showed on the dashboard. And because I've set an estimated close date that's quite close, the assistant has notified me that there's a likelihood that this opportunity could be closing soon. We can start adding things like stakeholders. So I can see that Sam, who I spoke to, is the key stakeholder. Sales team, you might have pre-sales, you might have technical expertise that you would pull in as a team to take on a particular opportunity. You can add that there. And then things like competitors as well. Now, you can also, within Dynamics, have price lists. So what I've done previously, just in preparation for this particular demonstration, is I've created a quote against this opportunity. And you can see that it is information like the currency, the price list that I've chosen, linked back to the opportunity and the customer. And here you can see is a product, and you can add as many or as few products as you like. Gives an example of that. And then there are integrations within Dynamics, things like export to PDF. You hit go and it generates a quote just based on the information that's in this opportunity here. So at this point, I've got the opportunity. I've had the conversation. I'll send out a contract, and Sam has accepted. Hit close, and then what that's done is put that in the system as a one opportunity, and it will archive it for access whenever you like. Now, I mentioned when we have qualified it from inquiry to an opportunity, what it's done after that validation point is it's created a contact and an account. So if I go across to a contact, so I know Sam is the contact that pertains to this opportunity. We've got, again, highline information on the summaries tab. We've got the timeline. So this, again, is all the information that doesn't just pertain to the opportunity that we looked at a moment ago, but this is all of the interaction that we've had with Sam. So phone calls, tasks, emails. You can see here pulled in from Outlook, or you can send directly from Dynamics as well. Any opportunities that, again, Sam as a quick access, kind of key information up here as well. Going across to the account itself, so it's created that company account here. We can start to add different contacts, and again, the timeline. What it's now done is pull in not only interactions that I've had with Sam or about the opportunity that relates to Peckham, it's any other contacts. So you can see that historic list of interactions with the business. So if anyone leaves, member of staff leaves or off sick or long-term sabbatical, then you don't miss anything. You know exactly what's going on all the time. Just some related kind of things that you can have. The activities, as I mentioned, you can set future activities. You can link social profiles, customer assets if you've loaned them a piece of equipment, for example. Inquiries and opportunities, orders, previous orders and quotes that I mentioned. So this is the company account. Another useful thing at the top here is organization chart. If you know people report to who. You have larger organizations, it's particularly useful as well. So that is a high level, a sales initial inquiry through to close business and subsequent creation of an account and contact. Just also like to quickly touch on, if I can click down here. Just have to move myself out of the way. Click down here to sales, to customer service, forgive me. We've been focusing on sales, having a look here, customer service representative dashboard. So Dynamics is absolutely geared up for things like ticketing and cases. Here you have an example of, as a customer service rep, I can see all the cases, the origins. I can see my active cases by how long they've been in my queue, and then the priority of those particular daily cases as well. Resolved cases, activities, so much in the same way for sales, you can set activities against cases. So that is from an individual perspective. If we go out to customer service manager, you can see all your members of staff by the amount of active cases that they have. So you can, where to direct the next cases, things like active cases across priority type as well. And then finally, just to touch on marketing within Dynamics, the ability to create marketing lists is very, very useful. So an example that I have here is an account management list. So when this loads, click into account newsletter, and the members of that, as an example, because I'd signed Peckham Limited, is against this list. So there are various marketing automations that you could pull in, marketing integrations that present themselves as native to Dynamics, that allow you to send e-shots, text messages, so on and so forth. So there we go, a whistle-stop tour of Dynamics. To recap, my name's Steve, QGate Software, Steve Clark at QGate Software. I hope you've enjoyed what I've showed, and if you would like any elaboration on any of that information, please do get in touch with Dynamics consultants and they will happily send you my way. All the best. Thank you.